The bug type is sometimes seen as one of the weakest types, but today we will try to change that idea by beating Pokemon Emerald using only bug type Pokemon. Hi everyone, this is Thundershock, and like I said in the intro, today we are going to beat Pokemon Emerald with only bug type Pokemon, or at least we'll try. The rules are simple. Only bug type Pokemon are allowed during battle, so you can have a Pokemon dedicated to the use of HM moves in your party like Zigzagoon, but he can never battle. Trading of Pokemon from other games is not allowed, and to make it a bit more challenging, we won't use any items in battle. We might use some held items, but I will try to keep that to a minimum. Just so you guys know, I'm writing this script while I'm playing, so I have no idea of what will happen. I have to say that I'm a little afraid of Flannery and her army of fire Pokemon, as well as the fire type gym, but we'll figure out a way to beat them, right? So before we start, it's time to choose the Pokemon we will be using. After looking at the base stats and moves that each Pokemon available in Emerald has, I decided to go with Beautifly, because it's the bug with the highest special attack in the game, Dustox, because it learns Light Screen and Toxic, as well as Psybeam later on, and those might be very useful. Masquerain, because I think it looks cool. Ninjask, because he's the bug with the highest speed in the game. And finally Pinsir and Armaldo, because of their great stats overall, especially the attack and defense stats. So let us get right into it. I start by naming myself T-Shock, because Thundershock wouldn't fit, but I plan on naming both the character and all the Pokemon I catch with names that you guys suggest in the comments. So if you want to see a name of your choice be given to a Pokemon or character in my next video, make sure to leave a comment. I will also talk about future videos in the end of this one, so keep watching if you want to know more about that. I choose Mudkip as my starter so that my rival doesn't get Torchic, a fire type Pokemon that is strong against the bug type, and I name her Gabby for no reason at all. Right after receiving the 5 Pokeballs from the professor, I immediately run into her Wurmple. I catch it and name her Jessie, after the famous Team Rocket member that loved her Wurmple even before she evolved. Right after I find another Wurmple, and she's also coming with us. I name her May because she also had a Wurmple in the anime. I say goodbye to Gabby and start my adventure as a bug trainer. After training May and Jessie to level 6 against the poor Pochienas or Wurmples in the first routes, we head into our first battle. Because so many Pokemon in this part of the game use Growl, Tackle and Poison Sting are not very strong, so we take a bit of damage in the battles, but everything goes well in general. May evolves into Cascoon at level 7, and Jessie evolves into a Silcoon. After a couple more battles, Jessie gets to level 10 and evolves into a Beautifly. Jessie also learned Absorb when evolving, which will make the first gym 10 times easier than using only Tackle against all those Rock-type Pokemon with huge defense stats. But before heading to the gym, I go to Route 116 to catch an Nincada and name it Kinu, which is the name of the first trainer in the anime that had a Nincada. With a team of 3, we now head into the first gym. Instead of using only Jessie to speed through the gym, I decide to use the battles to train May and Kinu. That's how May gets to level 10, evolves into a Dustox, and learns Confusion. When going against the gym leader, I lead with Kinu so he can gain some experience. Then after a couple of Leech Lives, dealing no damage at all, I switch to Jessie and hit Geodude with an Absorb. It doesn't kill him, he uses Rock Tomb and Jessie is gone. I really didn't think it would deal this much damage, so now I know I'm screwed. Kinu, with his Leech Lives, manages to take out the first Geodude, but May has no chance against the second Geodude. So I guess we need to train a bit more. I head into Route 116 to deal with the trainers there, and come back to the gym with everyone at level 15. Oh, and while I was at it, I went back to the first routes to catch a Zigzagoon to be the AGM user. We go for a second try. Kinu goes first and uses a bunch of Leech Lives and Fury Swipes to wear down Geodude. When a bit of damage is done, we switch to Jessie and use Absorb. It is super effective and Geodude goes down. The second Geodude comes out and the strategy is the same. Wear him down with Leech Lives and Fury Swipes and finish him off with Absorb. The problem is that this time Geodude went for Rock Tomb when we switched in, and Jessie almost fainted. Surviving with only 1 HP, she managed to take down a Geodude with Absorb. Against Nosepass, May went in and tried to confuse him with her new Psychic type move, but it didn't quite work. 2 super effective Rock Tombs were enough to kill her, Jessie's Absorb wasn't enough, and Kinu couldn't deal any damage to Nosepass's amazing defense. We tried to use a bunch of sand attacks to lower his accuracy, but he almost never missed, and that was the end of the fight. I was planning on fighting every gym leader with my team at the same level as the gym leader's strongest Pokemon, but after seeing this, I better forget that plan. And also, I'm pretty sure we will have a bad time against the fire and flying type gyms later on. So I get everyone to level 18, which took me quite some time, but it will be all worth it if we can finally beat the gym leader. Now with Jessie 6 levels above Roxanne's Geodudes, I think that Absorb will be a one-hit KO. And that's exactly what happens. But instead of risking Jessie being killed by Nosepass's Rock Tomb, I decide to switch in Nincada to lower Nosepass's accuracy. Then maybe use May to confuse him, and then finish him off with Jessie's Absorb. Turns out that wasn't needed. Because Nincada takes very little damage from Nosepass's moves, I simply reduce his accuracy and wear him down with every single power point of Leech Life and a couple of Fury Swipes. And that's how we beat the first gym. Then we help an old man rescue his Wingull from the bad guys, and see that our rival is waiting for us. We try to slip past her without being seen, but she manages to catch us and challenges to a battle. Nincada takes out Wingull with 2 Furry Swipes, and Dustox KOs Trico with 2 Gusts. Time to defeat the second gym, the gym that specializes in fighting Pokemon, which should be the easiest gym of all because May and Jessie are quite high level and both know the move Gust, a flying type move that hits with Stab for Jessie because she is not only bug type but also flying type. May takes care of every gym trainer without taking much damage, so I start to battle against the gym leader with her. We take Machop down with Gust and then Confusion after he buffs his defense. Meditite goes down with only 1 Gust because it was a crit. Makuhita keeps buffing his attack and defense, which didn't help against May's Confusion, and we take him down without much problem. Good job, May! After that, we enter the cave to give Steve a letter. To get done with this cave quickly and without flash, I always use the same trick. Just keep hugging the right hand wall. You will even catch most, if not all, the items in the cave using this trick. When you get to the stairs and enter the second level of the cave, hug the left hand wall instead, and don't forget to talk to the slightly lighter rock so it gives you an Everstone. And then when you get to the next stairs, simply go to the left, and that's it. We give the letter to Steven and go back to Petalburg to get the EXP share. We then arrive at Slatport. We take care of the bad guys again, and meanwhile Kinu evolves into Ninjask. For some reason, a Shedinja tries to join the group. Even though it's a bug-type Pokemon, I'm not planning on using Shedinja for this challenge, so she'll have to stay in the computer. At least now Gabby has some company. The next big event is a battle with our rival. Jessie takes care of Wingull with 2 Gusts. Kinu uses Scratch once and gets killed with 1 Rock Throw that crits. May goes in to use Confusion and kills Slugma with 2 hits. Because Slugma had used Yawn, which triggers 1 turn after using, I switch to Jessie and Grovyle goes down with only 1 Gust. When we get to the city, we grab a match bike and battle with everyone in the routes nearby, including Wally that sees his Ralts be taken out by 2 Psybeams from May. I only realized now that because Jessie and Kinu are flying type, only one of our Pokemon can resist a couple of electric attacks. So we might have a bad time in this gym too. Because I know that gym leaders usually lead with their weakest Pokemon, I expect Kinu to be able to take 1 or 2 hits while I set up Double Team and Swords Dance. That is the strategy for this battle, so let's see how it goes. I start with Swords Dance and Voltorb uses Sparks, which deals more than 50% of Kinu's health. The next attack will definitely kill us, so I go for Scratch, which doesn't quite finish off Voltorb. Kinu is gone and it's time for May to try it out. We go for Gust, but Voltorb uses Self-Destruct and May is also gone. Jessie can't deal with all of these electric Pokemon, so we lose. After this devastating defeat, we go back to training. After quite some time spent leveling up, Kinu finally learns a move better than Scratch, May learns Light Screen and Jessie learns Attract, moves that might be useful to beat this tricky gym. Kinu now knows Slash, a move that is pretty strong and has a high crit chance, so my strategy is similar to the one in our first battle. Set up a Swords Dance and start attacking right away. I also gave a Cherry Berry to Kinu just in case he gets paralyzed. We follow the plan and start with Swords Dance. Voltorb uses Shockwave, but due to our huge level advantage, it doesn't deal that much damage. We immediately go for Slash. It's a critical hit and it takes down Voltorb. Next up is Electrike. which also dies to 1 slash. Then comes Manectric, he survives to slash and uses Shockwave. Kinyu is not willing to go down yet and survives with 1 HP. Manectric eats his Citrus Berry and I'm thinking that the next slash will finish him off, but he uses Quick Attack and Kinyu goes down. You did well, Kinyu. Mei goes in next and sets up Light Screen, which will reduce the damage from their electric moves for some turns. Then we go for a couple of Psy Beams, but he has too many Super Potions. Mei eventually gets paralyzed, but is still able to win this fight by spamming Psy Beam. His last Pokemon is Magneton. We always try to keep Light Screen up so that his electric moves don't deal as much damage, and we heal with Moonlight a couple of times, but after getting paralyzed a couple of times, Mei gets taken down. It's time for Jesse to win us this battle. We paralyze him, he does the same to us, we spam Mega Drains and he spams Sonic Booms. He somehow survives our third Mega Drain with 1 HP, but we are faster, so another one should do it, right? Wrong, we get paralyzed, he uses Shockwave and we die! God damn! To the training grounds we go again. Mei and Jesse learn Silver Wind, which is a quite strong bug type move that I will probably keep for a long time. And after years and years of training, we go for a rematch. The strategy is the same, but this time I give a Cherry Berry to everyone, so that they don't feel discriminated. It's not for my advantage in battle or anything, really it's not. Starting the battle, I think Kinyu can take 2 hits from Voltorb. So I'm thinking about using 2 Swords Dances before starting to spam Slash. And that's exactly what we do. Kinyu is able to tank 2 Sparks and Slash is a 1-hit KO against Voltorb. Same happens with Electrike. We get paralyzed after hitting him, but Kinyu eats his berry and gets cured. Manectric also goes down to only 1 slash. Kinyu gets paralyzed again. Doesn't hit his slash against Magneton. He hits a critical Shockwave and Kinyu is gone. He did well though. In goes Jessie. We paralyze him, he paralyzes us. Jessie eats her berry, uses Silver Wind and deals no damage. But Silver Wind has an effect. It has a 10% chance to increase the user's stats, and that's just what happens. Then Magneton paralyzes Jessie again, we use Silver Wind, and that's a critical hit with which Magneton goes down. Good job, team! It's finally time to move on to the next gym. I get to the Snowy City and watch the bad guys argue with other bad guys. Then we help a couple separated by 2 large rocks, so they give us the 4th A-Gem, Strength. Then we also help this stranger find his glasses, although in the end he just leaves without the glasses anyway. And after that we take a cable car up the mountain to fight Team Magma, the red bad guys. They use Fire-type Pokemon, so I might have some problems here. I'm just hoping Kinyu can one-shot everything with Slash. Team Magma's boss starts with Mightyena, which decreases Kinyu's attack with his ability. So we switch to Jessie and use the super effective Silver Wing to kill Mightyena. We switch back to Kinyu, that takes down Camerupt with 2 slashes, and use another slash to kill Zubat, his last Pokemon. Before heading into the next gym, we talk with a nice lady that gives us an egg. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like an egg for a bug-type Pokemon, so we put it in the computer for Gabby and Shedinja to take care of. After beating every trainer in the gym, Jessie and Kinyu ended up at level 38 and Mei at level 37. I'm confident that Kinyu can take 1 super effective hit while setting up Swords Dance and then might be able to take a couple of Pokemon down with Slash. So that's the plan. Starting the battle, we go for Swords Dance. For some reason Numel goes for Magnitude, which Kinyu is immune because he flies. We go for another Swords Dance. Numel uses Takedown, which doesn't deal that much damage. So we risk it and go for another Swords Dance. Numel then uses Overheat and almost takes down Kinyu, so I guess it's time to start attacking. 1 slash takes down Numel, as well as Slugman, as well as Camerupt, but Torkoal is able to survive it and uses Overheat to take down Kinyu. Jessie goes in to paralyze Torkoal and wears him down by spamming Gust. He uses Overhit and it's a 1-hit KO. I'm not too worried though, because each time he uses Overheat, his special attack decreases, meaning that his next Fire-type moves will be weaker and weaker. So Mei goes in and sets up Light Screen to make his Fire-type moves even less dangerous. After that, Torkoal spams Body Slams, while Mei spams Psy Beams. She eventually gets confused and hurts herself a couple of times, and the final Psy Beam does the trick. Mei also levels up with this fight and learns Toxic. Leaving the gym, my rival appears out of nowhere and gives us the goggles we need to go into the desert. The first thing we do when we get to the desert is take the stardust from a rock and run from the man that was guarding it. Then we go in and out of the desert until a strange tower appears, and after we fail a few times in the tricky matchbike trap, we almost take the wrong fossil. Then we take the claw fossil and watch the tower be consumed by the sand. This fossil is very important because it represents the fourth member of our team. But first we need to bring him to the scientists. We do just that and they tell us that we need to wait for a while. So we pick up our bike and go see the city. Then we go back to the scientist and he gives us an aneroid that we name Proctor, after the professor that studied multiple fossil Pokemon in the anime. We give him the EXP share and go on with our journey. Before going to the next gym, we go catch a Wishmer to give him strength, since Zigzagoon can't learn it. Only after catching the Wishmer did I notice that he can't learn strength, so we go and catch a Nincada to give him strength. But Nincadas also can't learn strength. Long story short, no one will learn strength today, and Gabby and Shedinja have 2 new friends. In the next gym, Kinu, Slash and Mace Psybeam easily take care of every trainer, and we are left to battle with Norman. We start by using Swords Dance. Spinda uses Facade, we use another Swords Dance, and Spinda uses T-Tier Dance, which confuses Kinu. We risk it and go for another Swords Dance. After all, Kinu is very healthy and can take another hit, right? Well, I had a brain fart and forgot that the damage that a Pokemon takes from hurting itself while confused scales with your attack. Conclusion: when we try to use Slash, Kinu hurts himself and takes huge damage because of all the Swords Dances. And faints. Well, time for plan B. Jessie goes in and kills Spinda with a couple of Silver Wings and Giga Drains, but takes a lot of damage while doing it. Don't underestimate her though. She is able to take a Slash from Vigoroth and still kill him with 2 Giga Drains. Next up is Linoon. He doesn't take that much damage from Giga Drain and almost kills Jessie with a critical Slash, but 1 more Silver Wind is able to take him out. Norman's last Pokemon is Slacking. I thought about using Stun Spore on him, but then I remembered that he's very tanky, so the best way to deal with him is probably through Toxic, so we can't have him paralyzed. Jessie dies with Facade, and in goes May to use Toxic. Then Slacking needs to rest for a turn before hitting us again. So we go for Psybeam to try to confuse him. It works perfectly and he hits himself. Toxic is already doing some damage and all we need to do now is keep spamming Psybeam so he gets confused. It works and the next time he's able to attack, he hurts himself again and we win. Good job team! Now we can surf! Before continuing our quest to defeat every gym in our way, we stop to help the electric gym leader switch off a generator. Even though he beat us I don't know how many times, we are still in good terms. Then we travel through some tall grass and we catch a Tropius to help us with the A-Jams like Strength and Fly. But I forgot to name him a Jam, please forgive me. Jessie and May take care of every trainer in the routes ahead, including the blue bad guys, Team Aqua. We then receive a cast form for our efforts, which will be a good friend to everyone in the PC. We take a rest and prepare to fight our rival. Proctor is still very underleveled, so we will have to trust the usual trio. I start with Kinu using Swords Dance, hoping he can take 1 super effective hit by Slugma, but Slugma goes for Amnesia, increasing her special defense, which won't do much against Kinu's Slash. I go for another Swords Dance and Slugma uses Ember, which doesn't do that much damage, but I'm afraid of a critical hit or a stronger fire move, so I better start attacking. Slash is a 1-hit KO, and after Lombre uses Fake Out and flinches Kinu, she also goes out with a single Slash. Next up is Grovyle, which also goes out with only 1 Slash. Good job, Kinu. We then go meet Steven so he can give us a device that reveals invisible Kecleons. We go to the gym, and after almost being defeated by a couple of trainers there, I decide to train Proctor until he learns a Rock-type move, which will be Ancient Power, at level 37. So in order to train Proctor, we defeat every trainer that we can find in the next route. We then find the Safari, and I remember that it is the habitat of the next member of our team, so I head into the Safari determined to catch a Pinsir. Pinsir has very good stats and will definitely be a good addition to our team, but they don't let me in without a Pokéblock case, which can only be obtained in the next city. Fortunately, we are not far from there, so we take care of a couple more trainers and get our Pokéblock case. Back in the Safari, Pinsers have a 5% appearance rate, so it's not easy to find one. But after a while, we found one. We threw 2 Pokeballs and she fled. And then I ran out of time. I went back in and found another Pinsir. After 17 Pokeballs used on the same Pokemon that didn't run away, we finally caught her with the 18th Safari Pokeball. We named her Samurai after the trainer that had a pincer in the anime and easily beat Ash's Pidgeotto in a battle, but lost to his Metapod. I think it was in the first season. Let me know in the comments if you guys have seen it. And it's time to continue with Proctor's training. He's the only one who can make our life easier at the Flying type gym. At level 37, Proctor learns the move I wanted, but he becomes much more powerful when evolved, so I train a bit more until he gets to level 40 and evolves into Armaldo. So we head into battle with the gym leader, with the game plan of spamming Ancient Power and hoping to one-hit KO everyone. That's what happens against Swablu, but because Ancient Power only has 5 power points, I decide to try to take care of Pelipper with the other Pokemon. First Jessie, that uses Stun Spore and misses, gets confused by Pelipper, follows it up by hitting herself twice, and then uses Stun Spore, follows it up with Giga Drain to get back some of the HP lost. Pelipper uses Aerial Ace, but it doesn't deal that much damage, and a couple more Giga Drains take Pelipper down. I go back to the Ancient Power strategy, and that works very well. It crits and one-shots Tropius, but not so much against Skarmory. Not even the second Ancient Power was enough. I don't really want to use my last Ancient Power against Skarmory, so I go for Metal Claw, which doesn't do that much damage, but it rolls my attack. I use it 2 more times, but after tanking a Silver Wing, I'm too afraid that 1 more Metal Claw won't be enough, so I switch in May. And with 3 Psy Beams, we are able to take Skarmory down. Against the last Pokemon, I keep May in, hoping to poison Altaria, and that's what happens. Then May goes down and I switch to Kinu to try to poke some damage with Slash, but Altaria uses Dragon Dance, which scares me a lot because if she's faster than Proctor when he comes in, she will kill him immediately. But with Poison, a couple more slashes might be enough. She goes for another Dragon Dance and manages to survive with an Oran Berry she was holding. But in the next turn, she doesn't use any potions and dies to another Slash. Good job, team! Time to explore the next city. By now, I happen to think that it's very strange that I haven't found a wild Surskit yet. Then I do a quick search in the internets and find out that there is no way of getting Surskit in Pokemon Emerald. I would have to trade it from other games like Ruby and Sapphire, and that's not allowed in this challenge. So we might need a change of plans. I guess the time for Shedinja to join our team is here. He has been waiting and waiting, and he shall be rewarded. So now we have a full team of Bug-type Pokemon. The only problem is that we might need to cut some trees and destroy some rocks in our way to the Elite Four, so we will let Shedinja stay in the PC until we need him for the biggest fights. Just a little while longer, Shedinja. Before continuing, I took some time to train Samurai to level 40, so he doesn't feel left out, and he learned the move Guillotine, a move that is always a one-hit KO if he lands, but only has 30 in the accuracy. Next up in our adventure is a battle against our rival. May takes Tropius down with a couple of Silver Winds, and Proctor swipes everything else with Ancient Power. This one wasn't that hard, huh? After the battle, we need to take care of the blue bad guys and the red bad guys. We then surf to get to Moss Deep City, where the gym of Psychic-type Pokemon is located. After easily beating every trainer in the gym, we start to battle with the gym leaders with May and Jessie. Here is where I had a brain fart and decided that focusing on only one enemy was not needed. Shadow increases his special attack and special defense. Claydol, on the other hand, will die with another Silver Wind. But Claydol and Shadow kill Jessie with Ancient Power and Psychic. In goes Proctor, and they put in Lunatone. Shadow uses Psychic on May, it crits and May is gone. Lunatone uses Calm Mind to make itself even tankier, but Proctor takes care of Shadow with one Ancient Power. Samurai deals a bit of damage with Brick Break, and Proctor deals no damage at all with Water Gun. I risk it and go for Guillotine. It misses, and Samurai takes a huge flamethrower to the face. I don't know why, I only remembered now that Metal Claw is super effective against Soul Rock. He almost dies, but not quite. Meanwhile, the second Guillotine hits on Lunatone, and another Metal Claw takes Soul Rock down. It wasn't the easiest fight ever, but it wasn't the hardest either. We then help Steven take care of the red bad guys again. In return, Steven gives us the Dive HM. Unfortunately, our Zigzagoon doesn't know how to dive, even though he knows how to surf somehow. So we catch a Sharpedo with our Super Rod and name him Diver, hoping that he can teach Zigzagoon how to dive. Then we arrive at Sootopolis city, but the gym is closed. We have to take care of the bad guys again, and then go back to Sootopolis to see a fight between legendaries in incredibly bad weather. Then we go find the former gym leader taking care of the rocks in a cave nearby, and he tells us to go wake up Rayquaza. So we go wake up the legendary Pokemon so that he can stop the bad weather. Finally, we tell the bad guys to become good guys, and the guy that was taking care of the rocks in the cave gives us the HM waterfall and lets us enter the gym. For the battle with the gym leader, I didn't take Proctor from the PC, but can we win anyway? We start with Jessie. She gets confused and hurts herself, not once, not twice, 3 times. And with only 5 HP, she finally hits the Giga Drain, and Love Disc helps us recover a bit of HP before dying to Giga Drains. Next up is Celio. Giga Drain is also super effective against him, so I keep Jessie in play. One Aurora Beam almost kills her, but she's able to win with 2 Giga Drains. In comes Kingdra, and I switch to Kinu and go for double team. And he does the same. I go for another double team, and Kinu almost dies with an Ice Beam. My idea here is to use double team, Swords Dance, and then Baton Pass. Baton Pass is a move that makes you switch with a Pokemon in your party and transfers the buffs you have to that Pokemon, meaning that the evasiveness boost from double team and the attack boost from Swords Dance would be transferred to that Pokemon. So I go for the third double team, Kingdra misses the Ice Beam, I go for a fourth double team, Kingdra misses the Water Pulse, I go for Swords Dance, Kingdra misses another Ice Beam, and I go for yet another Swords Dance. He luckily misses another Ice Beam, and then I finally use Baton Pass to put in Samurai. I'm not gonna lie, it would be pretty funny if right now an Ice Beam would hit Samurai, crit, and one hit KO him. But it doesn't hit. We go for Brick Break, that also misses. Kingdra uses another double team, but this time we hit and Kingdra almost goes out. He uses another double team, but luckily our next Brick Break hits regardless. Next up is Whiscash, which goes down with only one Brick Break, and then Crawdaunt, which is both water and dark type, so Brick Break is super effective and it's also a one-hit KO. And this is how we beat the last gym of Pokemon Emerald. But the challenge is far from over. Now it's time for the Elite Four. But first we need to deal with Wally. With a couple of Brick Breaks from Pinsir and Silver Winds from Jessie and May, Wally admits defeat and agrees that bugs are strong. We head further into the cave, and after all the rock smashing and running from exploding gravelers, we finally bring the team together again. But we can't fight the Elite Four with a level 20 Shedinja, so it's time for some training. Fortunately, the wild Pokemon in Victory Road are pretty high level, so it doesn't take that long to level up Shedinja with a little help of the EXP share. The strongest Pokemon that we will face is level 55, so for our first try, I brought everyone to level 55. I also taught a couple of moves to our team. Secret Power to Shedinja, so he has one more move that deals damage. Shadow Ball to Kinu, so that he is able to deal with Ghost type Pokemon. Aerial Ace to Beautifly, because it is stronger than Gust and never misses, which makes it the perfect counter to Double Team. And finally Earthquake to Samurai. The first battle is against Dark type Pokemon, so Bug type is super effective against them, but all Bug type moves are physical in Generation 3. So my Tiana's ability, Intimidate, that lowers your attack, might be a problem. But fighting is also super effective against Dark, and our Samurai has an ability that negates Intimidate. So we start with him. We use Brick Break, and it's a one-hit KO. Next up is Absol. He survives to a Brick Break with 1 health, and uses Swords Dance. We hit him with another Brick Break after the full restore, and he also survives with 1 HP. But Samurai finishes him with a Seismic Toss. Against Shiftry, we change to Jessie because Bug type moves are 4 times super effective against both Shiftry and Cacturn. He uses Swagger to confuse us, and Jessie hits herself. He goes for a double team, and Jessie hits herself again. Right here I'm a bit afraid that he is going to use another double team, so I choose to go with Aerial Ace. He does just that, and this time Jessie doesn't hit herself, and the Aerial Ace is a one-hit KO. We keep Jessie against Cacturn and hit him with the 4 times super effective Silver Wind. The last foe is Crawdaunt, and we have the perfect match for him, Shedinja. Crawdaunt doesn't have any moves that can hit Shedinja, so we are practically invincible. After a couple of secret powers, he goes down and the first trainer is defeated. Our next battle is against Phoebe, the specialist in Ghost type Pokemon that are vulnerable to Kinu's recently learned Shadow Ball. So because I think Kinu can handle 1 or 2 hits, we start with Swords Dance. Dusclops uses Protect, and I've noticed that trainers in this game usually go for 2 Protects in a row, so we go for Swords Dance again. I was wrong this time and Kinu takes a Shadow Punch. And now it's time to start throwing Shadow Balls everywhere. Dusclops goes down with 1 hit, the same happens to Bayonet, and the second Dusclops, and the second Bayonet. And even though Sableye isn't vulnerable to Ghost due to him also being Dark type, Shadow Ball is still 1-hit KO against him. Good job, Kino. Next is Glacia, specialist in Ice type Pokemon, which means that Samurai will have some punching to do. But without him this fight might be quite hard, so my strategy is to start with Kino, use 1 or 2 Swords Dances, and then Baton Pass to Samurai, transferring the boost in attack to him. Let's see how that goes. We start with Swords Dance and Silo immediately goes for Ice Ball. This is a move that gets stronger and stronger each turn, so I don't want to wait any more turns and go for Baton Pass, hoping that Samurai can 1-hit KO him. And he does just that after taking a bit of damage. Brick Break also defeats Glalie with 1 hit, the same for the second Celio and the second Glalie, and even though Walrein is quite tanky, he also goes down with 1 Brick Break. These fights haven't been that hard so far, but I'm pretty sure that our next opponent is going to be a problem. Drake uses Dragon type Pokemon that are vulnerable to Ice and Dragon, but no one in our team of bugs knows Ice or Dragon type moves. To make things worse, some of his dragons also know Flamethrower, so we need to be very strategic in this fight. Our first foe is Sheldon. We go for Swords Dance and almost die with 1 Rock Tomb. Then we Baton Pass to Proctor, he takes a couple of hits but is able to defeat Shelgon with 2 slashes. Drake goes for Kingdra that doesn't have any super effective move against Shedinja, so we change to Shedinja. But in this game, trainers always switch if they don't have any moves to defeat Shedinja, so I predict his exchange and send out Samurai, because I think he might go for Flygon, but he actually goes for Altaria. I then switch to Proctor because he has Ancient Power that is super effective against Altaria. She goes for 2 Dragon Dances, making her a huge threat, but Ancient Power crits and it's a 1-hit KO. Next he sends out Kingdra and we play the Shedinja game again. But why do I choose Samurai to go in after that, you ask? Well, Flygon and Salamence are super tanky against every move we have available to our bugs, and they both know Flamethrower, that will probably 1-hit KO everyone. So our best bet is that the 30 accuracy move Guillotine manages to kill at least one of them. And after taking a huge Flamethrower to the face, Samurai misses Guillotine. She won't survive another Flamethrower, so I decide to sacrifice Kinu so that Mei can set up a light screen. Mei takes an Earthquake and will not be able to survive the second one. So we try to go for another Guillotine. This time it connects and Flygon is gone. No pun intended. Salamence comes in and he uses Rock Slide, which is a physical move, not affected by light screen. So Samurai faints. Jessie goes in to try to paralyze Salamence, but she also goes down with a Rock Slide. Because Salamence is also Flying type, I think Ancient Power might have a chance to kill him. The problem is that he's faster than us and he kills us with Flamethrower. Shedinja tries to use Double Team, but he's too fast and kills us with Rock Slide. We lose the fight, but this strategy didn't seem bad at all. But instead of going with Pinsir first against Flygon, I started going with Mei to immediately set up the light screen. This way Pinsir is able to tank 3 Flamethrowers before dying with a 4th. I tried doing this time after time, and whenever Guillotine managed to hit on Flygon, it wouldn't hit on Salamence, and Salamence just decimated every last bug in our team. Until one time, we were basically forced to change the strategy. So Shelgon didn't hit his Rock Tomb for 3 turns in a row, so we kept using Swords Dance. When we Baton Passed to Proctor, with 3 Swords Dance buffs on his attack, Slash killed Shelgon with 1 hit, and I thought Proctor was just too strong to swap into the Shedinja game, so I kept him in. 1 slash dealt with Kingdra, Flygon went down to a critical slash, and Salamence went down with another one. Good job, Proctor! So we have defeated the Elite Four, but the champion is still waiting for us. Wallace has 6 Water-type Pokemon, and we have the perfect weapon against him, Shedinja. None of his Pokemon are able to hit Shedinja, but we might have a problem. Number of power points. Because Shedinja is not able to deal a lot of damage and Wallace Pokemon are quite tanky, we need to manage our power points very well. If we run out of power points, we will have to use struggle, and because Shedinja only has 1 HP, it will die with 1 struggle. After giving it an Elixir, we make Shedinja the leader of our party and head into battle. After a couple of secret powers and shadow balls, Shedinja kills Wailord. Tentacruel is up next, and he uses Toxic, which I thought didn't affect Shedinja. But it does, and Shedinja faints. And the funny thing is, I didn't save before starting this battle. So if we lose this battle, we will have to deal with Flygon and Salamence again. And no one wants that, right team? Okay, let's focus. So against Tentacruel, we send out Samurai that almost kills him with an Earthquake. Thankfully he hurts himself due to Shedinja's Confuse Ray. Next up is Ludicolo, and I know he has double team, so we send out Jessie that takes care of him with 2 Aerial Aces. I think I need to save Jessie for Whiscash, so I need to send out someone else to go against Milotic. Milotic is very tanky and a good special attacker. If that wasn't enough, we can also count with at least 1 full restore and maybe some type of berry that she will have and will heal her. We really need some type of strategy. The best one I'm seeing right now is setting up 1 or 2 Swords Dances with Kinu and use Baton Pass to put in Proctor or Samurai. But Kinu is bug and flying, so he will definitely die with a single Ice Beam. So first we send out Mei to set up Light Screen and protect Kinu from the strong special attacks. While tanking a heavy surf, she then uses Toxic to help with the damage, and is even able to take another hit and use Psybeam to try to confuse Milotic, but it doesn't quite work. Mei goes out and it's time to put Kinu in. We go for Swords Dance and Milotic uses Recover. But the Light Screen ends this turn, and the AI knows that. I should definitely Baton Pass here, but I have another Brain Fart and go for another Swords Dance. Milotic obviously uses Ice Beam, and Kinu somehow is able to tank it, but gets frozen. Meanwhile, Toxic keeps dealing damage, and we try to go for Baton Pass. Luckily, Kinu gets defrosted, and we send in Samurai. Milotic gets to low health due to poison, and the AI uses full restore. So now it's time for Samurai to shine with his attack buff. With only 1 Earthquake, Milotic goes down. There are still 2 more Pokemon to defeat though, but I can't switch out a buffed Samurai. So we go for another Earthquake against Whiscash, which is a 1-hit KO. But with Gyarados that won't work, because he knows how to fly. I don't know how, but he does. So he's not affected by Earthquake. We go for Brick Break instead, but it doesn't deal that much damage. Gyarados goes for Dragon Dance, tanks a Seismic Toss, and takes Samurai out with Hyper Beam. But that's actually fine, because now he needs to rest for a turn. And that's enough time for Proctor to win us the battle with the last Ancient Power. This playthrough was a long journey, but we did it. We beat Pokemon Emerald with a team of Bug-type Pokemon. Now, before everyone starts complaining saying that I didn't beat the true final boss, Steven, I didn't do it because to get to him, you need the A-Gems Surf and Waterfall, and there is no one in our team that can use those moves. So to do it, I would need to sacrifice 1 spot in our team to bring a Water Pokemon. Not to use him in battle, just to use Surf and Waterfall to get to Steven. I will pay a lot of attention to the comments of this video at all times. I check the comments left in all my videos every day, and this one won't be any different. So let's do it like this. If I see a lot of you guys saying that I should go and battle with Steven, I will then do some type of poll where you guys can vote, maybe on Twitter, to let you decide which member of our team should be exchanged for the AGM user. So go follow my Twitter to get the latest updates on that and much more. As a conclusion, let me say that this video was super fun to make. I loved playing through the game one more time, and I will definitely do it again if you guys want me to. I have already started working on a couple of other videos. I think that I will have the next one ready and uploaded by the end of next week, so stay tuned for that. I plan on uploading a lot more challenges and Pokemon content in the next couple of weeks. So don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you want to be the first to get notified when my next video comes out. Don't forget to hit the notifications icon. And that's it. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you've watched until now, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you next time.